welcome to the Mixtra with Adeshola. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Awesome, awesome. It's good to have our guest is already on here, right? I think I saw her. Yes, yes, yes. I think I can see her. Yes, our guest is already on here. All right, welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We appreciate you. Please remember to share, share, share. Share. Tell someone to tell someone to tell someone that we are live with Lara George. We appreciate everyone for joining. Anyways, we are not going to take too much of your time tonight at this moment because of the different time zones that we are all in. So, all right, we are going to bring in our beautiful guest. I can see she's in the room. We need our drum roll and let's make welcome on the Minstrel with Adeshola, Minstrel Lara George. Woo-hoo! This is sent your request. I think you did already. Yeah. All right, bring it out in. Yeah. Send it. All right. She's coming in. Hello, hello.
Hi.
So good to have you on here, sis.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been on for a while, but it's finally here.
I know, I know.
Thank God, thank God, thank God for this movement. Yeah.
Nice.
How are you, too?
I'm good. I'm doing awesome. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank God. Thank God. It's Friday.
Yes. I know.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Without taking too much of your time, we want to say welcome once again and thank you so much for the honor of coming on here. Thank you. It's an honor to have you here. Thank you so much.
Pleasure's all mine.
Thank you. All right. To start with, we just want to let you know and let our viewers know what we do on here. On the Mystery with Adeshola, we share our testimonies. We encourage ourselves. We equip ourselves. We believe so much that there's nothing new under the heavens no more. What I went through last week, I'm not going to actually, go further down to maybe 2 years ago or 5 years ago. Last week, someone else is going through it right now. So what you went through today, someone else is going to go through it tomorrow. So, Mr. Lara Judge. I love your smile. Mr. Lara Judge, we want you to share with us. First, we want you to introduce yourself. Who are you outside Lara Judge Music? We want to know you. We want to get to know you so we can chat with you freely tonight. Let's get to meet you first.
Okay. Well, I'm Lara George, recording artist. I like to call my style of music inspirational because I feel like I'm a little different from the regular gospel singer. Um, I'm a trained architect who has worked in real estate for a larger part of my life. Most people don't know that.
Wow.
And then recently also added on another career.
Wow.
And that's another story. I am married and I have 2 children. And
Awesome.
my son is a senior in high school. And I'm so excited because he got accepted into university today. Yay!
Oh,
Yes. And my daughter, she's 10. She actually turned 10 this week. And she's also just an amazing young lady. Today she won an award in school for kindness. And you know, that makes my heart so glad because kindness is a fruit of the spirit, and it's
Yeah.
something that we talk about all the time in our home. And so for her to win an award for that is just awesome. So I'm a proud mom. And I also, I mean, I do aside from the music and the real estate part of me, I'm also an entrepreneur, and have run a music business alongside my husband for music distribution.
Great.
So that's the part of me that a lot of people don't really know.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
that sounds like great. Wow, hearing that. Wow.
So that's why I'm always busy. That's why it's so hard for me to find a minute.
I know. Now I get it. I get it better. I actually did understand, how you've been like, okay, we'll get to this, we'll get to this, we'll get to this. But now I understand better.
Yeah.
Okay. So where are you originally from?
So I'm from I'm from Lagos State.
Okay.
But originally,
Okay.
my father is from Shala village in Iju, which used to be all of Ogun State, but then was partitioned, and then some of it was in Lagos and some of it was Ogun. So we got, yes, exactly. My village is there. It's called Shala village, and you'll see like all the Bajomos in the world there. That's my maiden name. That's where my dad is from. And my mom is from Ife, Ile-Ife. She is, from the royal family of Olubushe. So that's me. That's where I'm originally from.
Yay! We celebrate you, sis. Awesome. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. And your introduction, oh goodness, I can tell that you're a busy mom, a beautiful wife. I thought it's beautiful because you mentioned your husband's business and you said alongside my husband. That means you're very supportive. And we appreciate that for you. Awesome. Now we see why you're very busy. Okay. Awesome. So how did music start with you, man?
So you know what? I have been writing songs since I was maybe like 8 years old. I think I wrote my first song when I was like 8, about that time. And it came out of, I think, solitude, really, and boredom. I'm the fourth of 5 children. And my parents had 3 children really quickly. And then there was like a 5.5-year gap. Then they had me, then a 5.5-year gap, and then my younger brother. So I've kind of always just been on my own, because every time I tried to play with my older siblings, they'd be like, that little girl. So I started to say, Bookie's online, hey. And everybody else online, thanks. Sorry, I don't
thank you, Bookie, unstoppable. I celebrate with you. You're coming on here. Say you came now and you're still coming, see?
Yeah. So, I started to spend a lot of time, my alone time. I started to write. It started off as poetry, and then I would just put sounds to it. And then one day I just thought, why not just write a song? And I did. And after that, I just kept on, writing more songs. And then one time, I remember, I think I was in secondary school, and my older sister, the one right before me, because I have 2 older sisters. So the younger of my 2 older sisters, she took the song to her drama team in Unilag, and they used it for part of the drama that they did. And I remember I sat in the main auditorium that day, and I was watching, and I was like, oh, that's my song. They used my song, and I was like, okay, I can do this. So it was just something that, I enjoyed doing, and I
Um,
did, and I think I'm really good at documenting things. So I would
yeah.
write down the songs, I would record the tune. Then we had these cassettes. People
Oh,
remember
yes.
them.
And Egypt. Did you have Egypt then?
No, 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 no. Then no, I didn't have the
Oh,
tiny
no?
ones. I had the regular, those, if you had money, you would buy Maxell. But if you didn't, you would buy TV, I don't know, TD something, But
Wow.
I used that, and I would
Mhm.
record them. My sisters, they love music as well. And so, we had all these players in the house. Anyway, so I would just record and, write it down and try to write down the tunes. And I didn't even know tonic solfa, but I would just
Wow.
try to find a way to make sure that I remembered the song. And that was really how I started until I got into Unilag. And then I joined the fellowship choir. And it happened that I met these other amazing ladies and a guy who were just as, excited about songwriting as I was. And that was how, I was part of my first album project. And then got signed on to a record label in LA. And
Mhm.
then when that group broke up, I went solo. So, in a nutshell, that's my story.
Oh, okay. So this is getting super exciting. You know why? All the makers that I've heard here, whenever we ask, okay, so how did it start with you? I've always heard the same story. Like, oh, it started out when my mom used to take me to church, and everything actually starts from church. It's church, church, church. But yours is kind of different. And yeah, before you mentioned fellowship, I was gonna ask about, okay, so how did you give your life to Christ? How did you like, because your songs are always, Christ-like songs. Like it tells who you are. It talks about your faith, that you're a woman of faith.
Mm.
So yes. Now I'm gonna go straight to, maybe you'll be able to like mix it up for us. So go to Ijoba Orun. What's the story behind Ijoba Orun?
So Ijoba Armin is not an original song. It's actually
Mm.
a really, really, really old song
Mhm.
that I took and rewrote.
Mm.
I fell in love with that song when I first heard it, and the parts of it that I heard was maybe a couple of lines. You
Okay.
know, all I mashed on, all those other parts about, Wotimoni and all those things. I mashed all that on, and, mashed that arrangement is mine, because I only ever knew just a small snippet of the song. Um, but it was just a song that I think I spent maybe at least 2 years out of my time in university.
Mm.
I would spend time praying with that song. And every time I had a decision to make, or, like I was confused about something, I didn't have the words to pray with, I found myself singing those words.
Mm.
And it was just such a deep prayer for me. And I felt like when I sang it, I felt like God heard even all my unsaid words. I
Mm.
felt like God heard my heart when I sang those songs. When I would say, Mommy Deleo, I wasn't
Yeah.
asking to die. I was asking to reach the place of fulfillment, to reach
Mm.
God's will for my life. It was a prayer that God will keep me.
Can you please repeat that? Because that's like a revelation, about that song. Because exactly that's the meaning to Mumidele to song is
Yes.
like, okay, I want to get to the kingdom of God. Take me to God's kingdom. I want
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
So go ahead and repeat that. That
Yeah.
revelation.
Yeah, for me, every time I sang the song, it wasn't about, I wasn't ready to die. It was more a prayer to reach
Mm.
the place of fulfillment,
Mm.
to be right smack in the middle of God's will for my life. Because, you know, we don't really know, right? That's why this journey is a journey of faith. And so sometimes you're taking a decision and you don't know if you're doing the right thing, right? And, you know, every time that I was at a crossroads, that was the song that I sang. And I would be like, Ma jen kuno, ma jen shino. You know, when I learned the meaning of the word kuno, kuno means to fall short. You know, that means onoku. Oh, baby. You know, you're on your way and you're not quite there. That's one of the worst things ever that can happen. Like you can see it, but you can't touch it. God forbid. You know, it was like, God, ma jekin kuno. You know, I don't want to miss the mark. Ma jen shino. I don't want to go, you know, like off the mark. You know, so there's a going off the mark, and then there's a being on the path, but just falling short. And I thought these were such heavy prayers.
It is.
Very heavy prayers, you know? And when I sang those words, I was like, God, you cannot hear me pray this kind of prayer and then you allow me to just go like that and just, you know, not be all right. You know, so this was it for me as I sang that song in my own quiet time. And then one day I sang it while I was out with the group that I used to be part of. And, you know, it was just amazing, you know, the reception to it. And then later on, when I went on to go solo, I decided that I wanted to record that song. And you know what's even interesting is when I recorded it on that first album, it was just like a bonus track.
Wow.
I was like, oh, you know, I really want to record this song. Let me just record it as a bonus track. And then that was all people heard on that album. So that's the story.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing the story behind that song, Ijoba, with us. Wow. Thank you so much. And if you notice while you were talking, I was smiling because I was reading some of the comments here on here. You can see it is some actually. yeah, I can read it now. So there's a question here from Real Talk with Odu. She said, are they related, and Buki and her, because they look somehow alike? So
you know what? That question, there is a photo of me and Buki on Facebook that we took donkey years ago. And when we underneath that post, like 50 million people were asking, are you guys sisters?
Oh.
You really look alike. And it's true. I think we really do.
Yes, now we have Jesus' DNA.
Yeah, I'm like, well, you know, if I'm as pretty as she is, then I'm happy. So it's okay.
She's laughing. Okay, awesome. So, Faith, like I said earlier, what we share on here is our testimonies, and we're real on here. We share the testimony. You know, maybe there's somebody going through a situation right now, and they're like, if Lara Judge could go through this, then and she survived, and she's still worshiping God, then I can. So, has there ever been any challenge or challenges that you had, and we want you to share it with us, and how you were able to overcome?
Oh wow, there are plenty. I don't know.
I know, because I'm still gonna ask about. I'm acknowledging you for who you are. There must be a story behind that song as well. So go ahead and share this with us first, and let's go.
Well, okay. I'm trying to. I have to pick one, right?
Yes, or if you can.
I don't know. Yeah, I think maybe I'll just give like a general story of my journey, my musical journey.
Yes, ma'am.
I think, people tend to think that, because one is in the music industry, that, life is rosy and
Exactly.
everything is, hunky dory, and like you got everything sorted. But it's not quite like that. And especially, it wasn't that way, more so when I started out. I know, sometimes I see, people say, oh yeah, I've been singing for 50 years and I've been singing for 60 years. And it's all well and good. But for me, I've been singing professionally since I was like, a teenager. And that comes with its challenges, I think one of the hardest things for me to deal with was just the perception. People feel like they know you even though they don't.
They don't. Yes, ma'am.
And sometimes that can be a problem. People assume a lot of things about you, even though they don't know anything about. They haven't even met you on a one-on-one. So because there is maybe a type, what's the word I'm looking for now? A stereotype. Yes, a stereotype of the musician, the artist. So they assume that you are. And they will easily, they will easily assume the negative parts of the stereotype and put them on you, So you're dealing with all of those things from the front end, which is, as a Christian, you're dealing with a lot of pastors, you're dealing with congregants, right? And then on the back end, you're dealing with family and friends. And it can be tough. And then what happens is that, if you're not careful, you wind up alone. Because everybody thinks you're fine, but then, nobody, because everybody assumes that, everything about your life is perfect, nobody bothers to check on you. Right? So there's a pull on you. Everybody wants something from you. Yeah. But there's nobody offering you anything. And that can be tough.
It is.
That can be tough, especially when you are, a wife, a mother, you still have to, continue to deliver on the music end of things, and all of those things are draining. So it's very easy to cave in and to give in to the pressure, to the stress. Sometimes things are more difficult than they appear. People don't realize that oftentimes, especially if you're a Nigerian artist, most of the time you're running your thing yourself. You are your own publicist. You are your social media marketer, you promoter. You are, your sometimes you're doubling as your own manager, even when you have, like a good person there who is managing you. You're your own finance person. You're your own everything. One time I remember that I got on Facebook and I was looking through, I was scrolling through some of my old messages and I saw a message from like 2000 and maybe 2009 that somebody had sent to me. And then I responded to her and she responded back almost immediately. She said, "What? after 10 years, or something like that, right? So I responded to her and I said, just love me like that, please, because it's only me. So, I try to take each day as it comes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to put up a front. Those who know me will tell you that with me, what you see is what you get. I'm not, I don't believe in, yahoo, gali gali. I don't believe in that. I don't like for people to carry, you go to an event and people are carrying your bag and all that. I don't like all that.
Oh,
You
the
know,
extras. Okay.
I don't like all that. Who you see is who you get, and I think that when you're that way, it takes the load off, it takes the pressure off, because when you soak in too much all of the accolades, then you better be ready to give out all the high expectations that people have of you.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you keep it simple, then life is easier. And that's been my mantra. That's how I've just always taken one day at a time. And if those who know me will tell you I am a very down-to-earth person. So that's been a great coping strategy for me.
Wow. Don't soak in too much. Don't soak in too much. If you do, be ready to meet up to those expectations.
Oh yeah. And I'm gonna drop a little sentence here at this point. And I will say, I think that thing right there is one of the biggest issues that we have with Africans in church leadership.
Let's go.
I think, yeah, there's no need. There's only God is God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody else is a body part. A part of the body of Christ. Only Christ is the head of the church.
Yes, ma'am.
Stop trying to make yourself look like more than what you are. Stop it.
Yes.
If you're a pastor, you're watching this, just stop, because you can stop. Just be normal. Be a human being. And, remember, you have frailties just like the next person. Don't pretend like you are any better than the next person. Don't make yourself out to be more than what you are.
Yes, ma'am.
Give it to God and just let it go. Be humble enough to let God take his own glory.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sis. Okay, so I'm going to read this from Bookie Unstoppable. We're not meant to absorb the glory. I think that's what you're trying to say.
Yes.
We are not meant to absorb the glory. We deflect it.
Yep. And I agree. I concur.
Wow. And well, as minstrels, we are meant to ascribe glory back to God, because of course, I think it's natural for men to like, okay, oh, you did so good. I love your music. I do this. But within you, you know that, oh, this is all God. It's not me. Right?
Yeah.
We're giving God the glory. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And you know that when somebody comes to say to you, oh my goodness, when you preach this message, oh, my son had fainted and then he woke up, don't make it about yourself. It's not you, it's God. Don't start to walk on air because of that. At the end of the day, the spirit of the prophet is subject to the prophet.
Yes, ma'am.
So all the shenanigans that we do, all those things, We need to stop them. It's not necessary. Con
A
ese
word is
street.
a
Con
word is
ese
enough for
street.
the word. A
Yeah,
word
con
is
ese
enough for the
street.
word. Okay.
Yeah. Con
But
ese street, Reverend.
necessarily, but
Yeah.
necessarily, I think looking at some people will be able to say this right. No, no, it's necessary. That's the way she puts those words in a unique way. Okay, since books, you're coming here. Pastor Reverend Books, you're coming here. I think she just put it here. Necessary.
Street.
I think that
Yeah.
necessary.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Awesome. Great. Like I said, thank you so much for that though. Like I said, I'm acknowledging you for who you are. It's a song that resonates with me in particular and so many of your fans. What's the story behind that very song also?
So the song title is Dansaki.
Dansaki, exactly, Dansaki. But that's, I'm acknowledging, like,
Call it, I'm acknowledging you.
exactly.
I pick the longer title. No, the song title is Dansaki, but yeah.
Dansaki.
So that song, actually wrote it. I started to write it one day while I was at it was a praise meeting, one of the events that I had been invited to, and that was when the beginnings of that song started. And I remember just recording it on my phone that day, like a little line from it. The original song that I wrote is actually about, I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 pages long. It was supposed to have been like this long medley of just just worship, but then I cut it down to what it is right now. And it was just a song that I wanted to do just to say thank you. I'm a strong believer in gratitude. Life may bring with it what it wants. Life will bring with it what it may.
Yes.
And there's a tendency for it to attempt to pull us down. There are more people who are depressed than care to admit it. Especially in today's world. There's floods going on in Nigeria as we speak. There's inflation everywhere across the world, in the US, in the UK, all over the world. There are wars, rumors of wars. There's just all kinds of things. Kidnappings, all those things. And people are going through so much. And for me, it was a decision that I had made at that time to look for the gratitude where I could. To look around me and say, thank you, God, for what you have given to me. And for that I do not have yet, I trust you, that you will come through. And that was where those words came from, acknowledging God for just who he is, for what he's done. And I remember my dad, who's passed on now, when he was alive, he used to use the word Dansaki. When he would be talking about God, he was, he spoke a bit of Hausa. And then he would say, Dansaki, and I thought it was an interesting word that I didn't really hear often in, normal parlance. So I remembered that word when I was writing that song, and I infused it. And that was it. That was it.
What's the meaning of Dansaki?
Dansaki means to hail, to celebrate, to like, basically to hail, to celebrate. Yes, it is actually borrowed from the Hausa language. So I don't remember what the etymology of it is now, but I do know that it is borrowed from the Hausa language. So, I felt like it was a fitting word. It's a word that you use for a king. And I felt that word really fitted the song and the mode and the mood of everything. And yeah, that was just it. I recorded that Dansaki album, by the way, when I was pregnant with my daughter,
Oh,
and I was very unwell when I was
oh,
pregnant, and I could barely go out, to do any events or to work or to do any of all my other busy things that I used to do. I could barely do much.
yeah.
Uh, so when I had recording time, I worked in my living room at home,
Oh,
and I had a producer who would come, over to the house, and we would set up all the equipment, and when we were done, we would, tear everything down, and that
wow.
was how we recorded that album. So yeah, it was a very interesting experience for me, and I loved it.
And even in I don't want to say in pain, but indirectly, even in pain, you were
Comfort.
still acknowledging God. Even
Yeah,
when you were uncomfortable, yeah, I think that's
yeah,
the right word. When you
yeah.
were uncomfortable, you were still acknowledging the goodness, the greatness of God.
Hmm.
So let's connect this with having someone watch you right now, and they're going through so much. Someone on the hospital bed, someone, of course, we all go through anyways. Let me just put that out there. We all go through let me say every day, every moment. A lot goes on our minds, and we have challenges. We just wanted to encourage somebody out there at this time, as the Holy Spirit
Yeah,
leads you.
yeah. Whatever it is that you're going through, just know that there's nothing that is new under the sun.
Yes,
There is
ma'am.
somebody somewhere going through worse of
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is that you are going through.
Mm.
And I know that it may feel like there's no end in sight. You may even feel like you don't want to wake up in the morning. You're in so much despair that you just want to just sleep and not wake up, or
Mm.
you don't want to see anybody. You don't want them to see how heavy you feel. Just, remember that the darkest part of the night is just
Mm.
before the breaking of the dawn. Just
Mm.
hang in there. Don't give up. If
Yeah.
God has ever come through for you before, even once,
Mm.
trust me that He will do it yet again.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
just hold on. Hold on a little while longer, and I promise
Mm.
you, everything will be just fine.
Great. That is short and beautiful and deep. Thank you so much, sis, for that. Thank you for encouraging us. And we so much appreciate you. We thank you so much for sharing your beautiful and your precious time with us. We
Thank
so much
you.
appreciate you. Thank you, sis. Thank you so much. Okay, you've been a blessing on here because we have to wrap it up. I know. You've been a blessing on here. You've shared so many words of encouragement. In fact, I had a deeper revelation of the story behind the job. No matter,
Right.
wow, that's deep. That's deep right there. Okay, so sis, how can we find you? Tell us about your social media handle.
Okay, I'm on right here on Instagram at Lara George Music. This Instagram is my favorite social media outlet. But there are many more people that follow me on Facebook.
Thank you.
Why
Yeah.
the Facebook people have refused to transition to Instagram, I don't know. But I'm on Facebook at Lara George Naija. That's Lara
Mhm.
George with Naija. So Facebook and Instagram is where you'll find me most of the time. I also have a website, www.larageorgemusic.com. And so if you want to reach me, reach out, text, WhatsApp, you'll find my information on my Facebook and my Instagram handles. I'm on Twitter, of course, as at Lara George, but I'm hardly there. Twitter is a different ballgame entirely.
Okay,
So
what about YouTube?
Oh my goodness, how could I? YouTube, yes, YouTube. So if you search for Lara George official, my official page is on there, but it's at youtube.com/Lara George Inspirational. I know that's a bit of a mouthful, but that's like the short handle if you are searching via Google for my official page.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Maybe immediately you type Lara George, Inspirational would actually pop up, so you would see it.
But be careful because there are many there are lots of options because people upload all kinds of things. So if you look for the official page, you'll see, if you type in Lara George Inspirational, the official page will come up.
Awesome. Just remember how inspirational she has been on here. She's been greatly inspiring on here, and we appreciate her. So go on YouTube, type Lara George Inspirational, and you'll find all her music. Is there any anything you're working on? Do you have anything cooking or anything any song you just cooked?
Yes, absolutely. And a lot of people have been asking me, when are you releasing the new album? So I released a new album recently. And I actually just released a new couple of videos for the songs from that album. So the album is titled Daddy's Girl. It's available on Spotify, Amazon, all the online outlets. It's there, and it's also on YouTube, so you can listen to it and enjoy. Watch those videos. Make sure you comment. Make sure you come to my page. Press the follow button, subscribe, all that good stuff, so that you can stay updated on all my most recent information. And then listen to the new album and come back to my page and tell me which one is your favorite.
Oh, awesome. I like that. And see, that Daddy's Girl, the video is, I love the video. It's very nice. Very nice. It shows that you put a lot of work into it. Thank you so much. And thank you for being a blessing to our generation. Thank you for being a great minstrel. We appreciate you, and we celebrate you at Lara George Music. Once again, people, please just type that clap on Facebook. They're watching you on Facebook right now. On Facebook, on Instagram, please appreciate Lara George. We thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, somebody said, the Lara George hire is 10 years now. Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Because it's on the Dansaki album, and can you believe it? It actually is, that. It's vintage.
Awesome. Thank you, Diolapeju. Thank you for the clap. Okay, we appreciate you. Thank you, sis. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining the Minstrel with Adeshola tonight. We appreciate you. Thank you for sharing your beautiful time with us. At Lara George, we appreciate you. And we want you to extend our gratitude to your family for releasing you at this time. We don't want to take that for granted. Thank you so much. And please, people, go ahead, share this video. Share. You might not know you're blessing a soul. You're saving a soul by sharing this, because there's a word for somebody out there. There's a word for you. You've gotten your own blessing, and by replaying it, of course, you're going to be blessed, and you can bless a soul as well. Somebody that's at that edge of giving up. Like she shared earlier, that people would say a lot about you, because that gets at us as human beings. People would say a lot, no matter what people think of you. Sing your own song. Be yourself. Sing your song. It doesn't matter. What God says about you is the only thing that matters. God bless you. Thank you so much. And we want to say, have a beautiful weekend. And till next time, when the Minstrel with Adeshola comes your way, please remain a worshiper. We celebrate you. Thank you, Miss Lara.
Thank you, Adeshola. Keep up the awesome work. You're doing an amazing job. Thank you. And I look forward to hanging out with you again soon.
Yeah, thank you. We'll be more than grateful to have you back on here to share more with us. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate you.
Thanks, everybody that joined in. Thank you so much. I love you all.
We love you. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Bye. Bye. Okay. Thanks.